funds. But they decided to give their CEOs a benefit on top of the pension. It was called 401k. That was to shelter their income. That way they could keep the CEOs because it was very competitive. But when all the jobs were shipped overseas, they no longer could keep pension funds. Too expensive. So they shifted all their employees to a 401k, duping you, thinking it was a good deal. But what they did is they charged hidden fees, which amount to about $250 billion a day, that they gave to lobbyists to go to Washington to make sure that this 401k would never be transparent. Here's what came of it.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
That's right. So join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? Phil'sGang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang member today. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You ever notice they always tell you to buy, but they never tell you to sell? They never tell you to sell. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you understand. When you buy a stock, and if all you do is buy, and you never sell short to make money where they're going down, you have to be so good. That means you got to buy the companies that are always going up. Nobody's that good. Nobody could possibly be that good. You got to make money just like you make money when you buy a stock. You got to make money when a stock goes down. That's how you even the playing field. That's how professionals make money. They make money going up and make money going down. But they don't tell you that. They just want you to try to make money going up. They don't want you to make money going down because they make that money on you. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Learn how to short stocks at philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything will be taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know we're going to have not only a stock market crash in 2016, but a housing crash in 2016. Don't you like how they tell us the housing's in recovery and the market's in recovery and the economy's in recovery? When it's not. It's in a bubble. Take housing. They loaned to a Wall Street firm called Blackstone. $7 billion. They buy 41,000 houses to go rent. Are you nuts? When they can't collect the rents anymore, those houses are going on the market and going to depress the real estate business by 30 or 40%. It's the same thing with stocks. They loan people money 600% more than they ever did before to buy stocks. That's all debt. And when the market goes down, they're going to have to dump those stocks to pay back that debt. And boy, will the market drop. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I'm here to help you. I'm tired, and you should be tired, of listening to these financial shows like CNBC where they're all geniuses and they're always wrong. Look, stop worrying about the price to book and the price to sales and all the stuff they tell you you think you need to know. You don't need to know any of that. Anybody can make money in the stock market using charts. It's about money flow. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
We're on our best 2-year job creation streak in 20 years.
What are you, nuts? Who'd believe that? Let me tell you the truth. First of all, the 292,000 jobs we got in December 2015, and they told us the unemployment rate is 5%. Not true. You can't trust these people on Wall Street. You can't trust the press. What they don't count is, in December, for example, the 615,000 discouraged workers. A discouraged worker is a person unemployed, gave up looking for work, but this administration does not count them as unemployed when calculating the 5% unemployment rate. Instead, they classify the discouraged as marginally attached to the labor force, but they're not considered part of the labor force or part of the unemployment. That's why you can't trust what they tell you. If we back into 625,000, the real unemployment rate is 12%, not 5%. That's why you got to join my gang, where you get the truth and where we use charts. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, many people left the stock market after the crash, and here's why.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
And that's still going on. That's your planner. They don't represent you. They represent themselves, your money manager. But you have to make a change. You can't change them. You make the change. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so that we can take care of you. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
The Democratic Party in the United States worked since Harry Truman to get the Affordable Care Act passed. We've accomplished so much already. I do not want to see the Republicans repeal it, and I don't want to see us start over again with a contentious debate. I want us to defend and build on the Affordable Care Act and improve it.
What are you, nuts? Nothing she's saying is true. Don't believe a thing that you hear from a Republican or a Democrat when it comes to Obamacare. None of it's true. Now here's Rubio.
I think that we need to replace it. We need to replace it with a system that allows every American, whether it's through a refundable tax credit or their own employers giving them money, to buy any health insurance they want from any company in America across state lines that is willing to sell it to them. That is a much better way to help people get insurance than a plan that requires the American taxpayer to bail out private insurance companies who have decided to cozy up to the Obama administration.
It's amazing, right? I mean, you take Rubio, and you take Clinton, you listen to them talk about Obamacare, and you hear compassion. It's all about compassion. That was the idea of Obamacare. It wasn't. These people don't have any compassion. None. Zero. By the way, this week, I'm going to start tomorrow. You very rarely ever hear me push a book. Very rarely. There's a book. It's called Walter's Way. Everyone's got to get this book. I'm going to do a little bit of this book each day starting tomorrow. This is a fascinating guy. He's an incredible man. He's 92 years old. You've heard of the fax machine. Well, it's because of this man, Walter. I mean, he's a tremendous person. He's just unbelievable. What an entrepreneur. What a life. And you got to get a copy of this book. It's called Walter's Way. And I'm going to start tomorrow going through this book, and you're going to be fascinated. There's nobody like this guy. He's just inspiring. He's fascinating. He's just unbelievable. He has a huge heart. The money he donates. The guy became a billionaire, lost it all. 66 years old, starts again, makes another billion. I mean, so inspiring, this book. Everybody's got to get a copy of this book. He's a good friend of mine, and this is just unbelievable. Walter's Way, Walter Share. And we're going to start talking about this book. I mean, an incredible businessman. So we'll start with that tomorrow. I just wanted to remind everybody, because you very rarely ever hear me push a book. I don't like pushing books, but this is an incredible book, an incredible man. Okay, let's get back to the incredible BS that we hear about Obamacare. Don't fall for the rhetoric, please, either from the Democrats or Republicans during this election, during this campaign. Do you really think that President Obama or his Democratic Party introduced Obamacare out of compassion out of concern for those who didn't have health insurance, didn't have coverage? Do you really think that he got up in the morning and said, boy, I feel terrible about these people? What are you, nuts? Politicians, both Republicans and Democrats, have no compassion, no heart, or a moral compass, and there's little to no, I don't know the word to use, authenticity, I guess, to any of these politicians, especially Obama and Hillary Clinton. Obamacare was created for the same reason Roosevelt created the New Deal. He didn't have any compassion. Roosevelt didn't have any compassion for the New Deal. God, how phony these people are, these politicians. The New Deal, he created to increase the Democratic voting base. And that's why Obama created Obamacare. Not out of compassion, but out of the need to control the elections, out of the need to build the Democrat base. That's what it's about. Same reason Roosevelt created the New Deal, to increase their Democratic voting base, so to give the Democrats an advantage during the election. In 1938, Roosevelt said Social Security was a Ponzi scheme. He was right. In fact, anyone born after 1980 will never see a dime of Social Security. You won't see a dime of your contribution from Social Security. What are you, nuts? In 1963, Lyndon B. Johnson, he enacted what they called the Great Society Program. What a bunch of nonsense. Do you think he had compassion? What are you, nuts? These people don't have... When you're a politician, they send you to the hospital. When you first enter Congress as a freshman, they first send you to Washington Hospital. They drain all the blood out of your veins, and they pump in ice water. And they stamp in the back of your head where you can't see it, where it says, once you lose your integrity, the rest is a piece of cake. Now that's a politician. That's who our politicians are. So all of these, I don't care, Roosevelt, Johnson, Obama, the New Deal, any deal, all their deals, for one reason, to build the base. They wanted more people to vote. That's all. It's all about getting voters. Do you think anybody thought that Obamacare worked? Why do you think they passed Obamacare, 2,000 pages of garbage, without any of us seeing it, and they just passed it? Because they knew it was no good. They knew it was no good. Hey, take Johnson's Great Society programs. What are you, nuts? We have as many people now in poverty as the day he started that program. We spend something like $80 trillion, and we have more. We have more people in poverty. It's all about politics. It's all about the vote. That's what it's about. These politicians don't care about you. They don't care about me. If they did, the stock market, Wall Street, would be a different place. The stock market would be a place that the simple man, the hardworking America, the person on Main Street could take and put money in every week instead of Social Security. Put money in the stock market and feel safe and grow that instead of stupid Social Security, which is a Ponzi scheme. If these politicians really cared about the people, that's what they would have set up years ago. Forget Social Security. They would have set up a system so that every person on this earth in the United States, every American could put in the stock market every week, $25, $100, and grow that 100, grow that 25, get our kids putting money in. That's what, if these politicians cared about us, that's exactly what they would have done with the stock market, because there's no better place than the stock market. The stock market is the best place in the world to make money. Why? Because of the liquidity that's in the stock market. You can, here's the mouse right here. I can buy a stock right now on my chart. I can buy U.S. Steel right now at $9.13, and 2 seconds later I go, oh, I don't know. That's a little too much. I want out. Bang. Somebody buys my stock. Can you do that with your house? Can you do that with your business? Can you do that with a painting? Can you do it? No. Think how wonderful the stock market is. You can go in and make a mistake, and in 2 seconds say, you know what? I'm going to buy Duke Energy. I'm going to buy it right now. I'm going to buy it right now for $75. And then say, oh, I made a mistake. And you can get a buyer immediately. Tell me any other asset class you can do that with. Tell me. A car? What are you, nuts? 15 past the hour here on Phil's Gang. Tomorrow we're going to start talking about Walter's Way. What a great book.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Let's go to Stock Corner.
Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel. Go to philsgang.com, click on the video channel graphic, and check out Phil's free videos on the market, economy, and current events.
And remember, you can become a subscriber to Phil's Gang. And we have a special program. It's a wonderful program, especially for people who just don't have time to do anything. They don't have time to learn, don't have time to follow a stock. And as I said, there's nothing better than the stock market because of the liquidity in the market. But more than that is the technology we have, especially the program that I designed called my PT2 program, PT1 program. It's a fantastic program because it takes all the work out. It does. It takes all the guesswork out. It's a wonderful program. And what we're doing, and again, let me give you the number, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG to subscribe. No, you're not calling Hong Kong or some answering machine down in I don't know, Australia or somewhere. Okay, this is the real deal. Call my office. Steve's there. He'll pick up the phone. And the program's wonderful because you can join a gang and then follow the S&P 500 stocks. The S&P 500 is in a basket. It acts like one stock called the spiders. There's almost hardly any fees at all. It's not like your 401k, because your 401k, remember, you don't have to believe this, check it out. Your 401k at the end, when you're ready to retire, half of it's gone in fees. Isn't that ridiculous? But the S&P 500, the spiders, there's hardly any fees to it, and it acts as one stock. And the beautiful thing is, the spiders are the 500 best companies in the world. And when the stock goes up, we're right there with you. We have a coach for you every day, 1:15. And if you can't make it, it's archived. We tell you exactly what to do with the spiders. To add more, take more of a position, take less of a position. I mean, you're coached all the way through. You don't have to think about it. What a beautiful thing. You're coached all the way through the S&P 500. But the beautiful thing, when this market collapses, and boy, is it going to collapse. You know what I don't get about Wall Street? Or I do get about Wall Street. Bunch of crooks. Why aren't they being honest? Why doesn't the president be honest? Why doesn't Congress be honest and come out and say to the American people, hey, we're screwed? You know, the Federal Reserve, our central bank, who's never been right about anything, 400 owners, elitists, they've screwed us. They propped up their balance sheet with $3.2 trillion, $3.2 trillion in debt. Then they turn around and lower interest rates artificially to zero. And then they take and pump $3 trillion into the stocks to push stock markets, to push the stock market up, push the stocks up, because there's no profits. Then they go and give another $4.4 trillion to give to the companies to buy their own shares back because they had no sales or their stock prices would come down, so pump up their stocks. And they put another $2.2 trillion and give it to the hedge funds on Wall Street to speculate in all this mess. And the stocks keep going up and up and up for 20% since 2009. Since 2009. And now, last year, in May of 2015, the market stopped. After 7 years, the market stopped going up. It hit this high like 35 times. It hit the S&P high like 35 times, and it could not break out. And every time it went out and hit it, it'd go back and hit it again and hit it again. My God. I mean, it had to be 35 times to hit around 2,132 on the S&P. And now he said to everybody, get ready. This market is ready to collapse. It's ready to crash. Let's get ready to short it. That was in May of 2015. I confirmed it the last week of July. I said I never saw institutions pulling out so much money. And right, we were correct. We were correct. And we caught the correction. Now they stopped the correction like they did in 2008. Hit 14% correction. They said, let's stop it artificially. Let's make sure it doesn't go down any further. This market correction is not over by a long shot. When I hear how the stocks are cheap, what are you, nuts? Stocks are cheap? What? How could they be cheap when you print $3.3 trillion you stick into the stock market to push stocks up? You give it to the banks to buy the stocks. Another 4.4 trillion, another 2.2 trillion, and the stocks go up 22%, and you say they're cheap? What are you, nuts? It's a bubble, and it's a debt bubble. It's all debt. It's crazy. So we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to take advantage of this. And I'm going to tell you right now, gold, AU. I told you in December, I told all my members who subscribed, and it was December 3rd, to buy AU, a gold mining stock. And I said, gold is where we're going to make all our money in 2016, a lot of our money, 2016. And it's already up over 40%. I was right. Now you go and you see TV, you read books, read magazines, everything. Now it's time to buy gold. Now time, because the economy is getting better, people are getting worse, people are getting scared. They don't have any confidence in the economy. They don't have any confidence anywhere. They don't have any confidence in Europe. No confidence in China. China's falling apart. Everybody's now starting to run to gold. 40%, and we are ahead of everybody. Now I'm telling you, we're going to do the same thing with the refiners. So when you subscribe to my gang, we're going to take the S&P 500, work with you. You're going to have a coach, personal coach, every day at 1:15 to coach you the S&P 500. It's SPY is the symbol, and we're going to do the same thing with our refiners, MPC, MRO, TSO, and VLO every day. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. So again, AU is doing great. Now's not the time to start jumping in these stocks. You shouldn't be jumping in these gold stocks right now. Let them start pulling back a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to be chasing them. So today, AU is at $13. We got in at $7. Give me our gain on that. We got in December 3rd at $7. That's what? We have a 46% gain. The gang members have a 46% gain on AU. Now, I'm not saying every gang member has a 46% gain. We identified where we saw on our chart the buy signal, and we identified the buy signal. Of course, it's up to the individual subscriber to either get in or not. Okay, but that's where we found it. It's up over 40% right now. Please subscribe to my membership right now. philsgang.com. The phones are open. 877-600-GANG.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil.
Put your money to work. Make your investments pay. Listen to Phil Grande and philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. We're talking about mining stocks, how they're doing terrific. This one stock that I gave my subscribers was AU, and we described that. I told them to go ahead and buy it. We saw it on our chart. Our chart had a buy signal. It was December 3rd, and now it's up 40%. And the reason why golds are going to start going up because people know that it's over. We got problems in China. The China economy is falling apart. Right now, they're selling the treasuries, U.S. treasuries, which is hurting us because the dollar's going to go up. And that means that our large companies like IBM, McDonald's, all the big boys are going to, again, hurt because they do a lot of their business overseas. And when the dollar's strong overseas, they can't sell. That means back home, people get laid off. The economy back here gets worse. And so China, the more of our treasuries they're selling to stimulate their economy for programs to raise cash, they're really hurting. So that's so if our dollar keeps getting stronger, that's bad because that means we have a lot of companies that just aren't going to make money. And that's going to be very bad. And that's what we're seeing in the stock market. Now, the market's down over 86 points today and is struggling. And I want you to be prepared for this market. This time when this market, remember, it's still in the crash. Here's what people don't realize. We had an interruption in the crash in 2008. They stopped it artificially. It never, remember, they never fixed anything. They just propped the stocks up. They propped the economy up. They lied to us about the banks and say the banks were fine now. They gave these fake stress tests. It's got to continue. And then it's got to capitulate. And it will. It's going to go down another 30% at least. But with today's technology, remember, it's not going to be like the old days when the market crashes. With today's technology, they can do this slowly. And that's what they've been doing. We had this 14% correction, and now there they are. They're back in here trying to push the market back up, but it won't work. It won't work. And you know, when you really think about this, we're talking about, before the last break, how all these programs they're talking about, these politicians, especially Sanders, with his free college.
Everybody in this country, regardless of their income, if they have the ability, they're going to get a college education. And today I just introduced legislation that would make public colleges and universities tuition free.
Oh, give me a break. Give me a break. Here you got Bernie Sanders. Do you think he's really concerned about our youth? You really think he's concerned that they have free college? No, he's no more concerned than Lyndon Johnson was. He was no more concerned than Roosevelt was. These people aren't concerned about doing good. Bernie Sanders is a socialist. He's a socialist politician who is promising free health care for everyone and free college, not out of compassion, but to build a base for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party knows he's not going to win. He knows he's not going to win. Look at the shellacking he got in South Carolina. He got shellacked in South Carolina. He's not going to win. Unfortunately for Sanders, he was dependent, totally dependent on the young people, both black and white. You see when he's up there on stage and everybody's applauding, he's got kids up there. All kids. They show him, they always put him in back of him applauding. Historically, these kids don't vote. They don't even register. Only 53% of 18 to 24-year-olds have ever registered to vote. What are you, nuts? He's trying to sell his socialist program, free everything. Really? And now you got Robert Reich, another communist, another socialist. Robert Reich, the former labor secretary under Clinton, who ended up supporting Sanders. He just joined a losing team this weekend. Got shellacked. Sanders got shellacked in South Carolina, and Reich threw his weight behind him. And he's a communist. He's a socialist. Reich. He was Bill Clinton's labor secretary. He said he left Remember when he quit? He was Bill Clinton's labor secretary, and then he left. He said he left, he quit out of frustration that Bill Clinton wouldn't pay attention to him. And therefore, that didn't give Robert Reich power and influence because Bill Clinton wouldn't pay attention to him. But Clinton said Reich misunderstood. According to Bill Clinton, he misunderstood. He said he never ignored his labor secretary, Robert Reich, who stands just 4'11". Clinton said he just couldn't see him on the other side of the desk when he came in to meet with him, to discuss things with him. And when Clinton yelled out, "Why don't you stand up?" Reich said in a faint voice, "I'm standing." So he got frustrated. Clinton said, I didn't do any of this to him. And now he's leading the charge on income equality, Reich. Now he's the spokesperson for income inequality. Just like Sanders blames it on the Republicans, the 1 percentile, the 8 million households who under Bush, then Obama, increased their wealth by 62%. Yeah, Main Street, on the other hand, the middle class, the 111 households, their wealth dropped by 28%. Oh, it's all the Republicans' fault, they both say. Really? The elitists, the 1 percentile, who collectively own 40% of America's wealth, and due to their collective mindset, where they really believe, think of this, they truly believe the world can't function properly unless the richest of the rich, our 400 owners of the Federal Reserve, the banking cartel, get richer. And with their massive wealth, they control not only the Federal Reserve, these 400 people, they also control the monopolies, banking, healthcare, agriculture, defense, telecom, and big oil. And they also control and own Congress, and therefore control the levers of wealth distribution. This is not a Republican deal. Oh, the Republicans are the Republicans. It's their fault. No, it isn't. Both Republican and Democrat. They're owned by the wealthy. If they want more equal distribution of income, they could make it happen. Both the Republicans and Democrats in Congress, by changing the distribution policy they have in place. Unfortunately, the rich, the elitists, they own Congress with their immense wealth, and have Congress keep changing the distribution policies to make sure the money keeps flowing their way. Only their way, not Main Street. And as a result, 51% of Main Street Americans make less than $30,000 a year, and 90% make less than $55,000 a year. And 68.3% of all Americans don't even have $500 set aside for emergency. As 72.2% work paycheck to paycheck. This is not a Republican problem. This is wealth. When you have wealth, you have power. And when you have that kind of wealth, they own Congress. They do what they want to do. The bottom line is that they have the power. What matters for inequality is who has the power to control the levers of distribution. And that's the very wealthy, because they own Congress. They own us. They're our owners. They are our owners, these 400 people. Our representatives are owned by them. The wealth distribution will continue to favor the elitists, the rich, and the country will continue to feel the income stagnation, the income inequality, until somebody changes it. But how do you change it? How do you change the wealthy? So Bernie Sanders, he's the answer? To disincentivize work? To promise free stuff? What, are you nuts? And that's his appeal, I guess.
I won't have to worry about putting gas in my car. I won't have to worry about paying my mortgage. You know.
We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
Say yeah, yeah, yeah. Say yeah, yeah, yeah. Anybody who puts money in my pocket is my friend. And Phil Grande can do the same for you. Learn how to grow and invest your money. Here's Phil Grande.
The owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, the wealthy, the real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. They're irrelevant. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice.
How true is that? George Carlin, wonderful. Miss him. George Carlin. How true is that? And socialism, which Bernie Sanders, and again, the movement is growing, kills ambition. It kills success. And socialists like Sanders and Obama, they blame the wealthy for all of the problems of the poor. What are you, nuts? In life, in order to solve problems, you have goals. Become successful. You need to be self-disciplined and be personally responsible. But not if you're a socialist. Not under Sanders. Not under socialism. It teaches none of these principles. Not one. Instead, it instills a toxic characteristic such as envy and jealousy, which keeps people poor. Keep poor people down is what I should say. They get a victim mentality. They become lazy. They don't want to excel. They don't even want to be average after a while. It's terrible. Terrible. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about a gentleman. His name is Walter Scheer, a good friend of mine. He's 92 years old, incredible man. The fax machine, you know the fax machine. Well, he's the one who introduced it to North America. Visual Sciences was a company in which he started, and it was the first publicly traded company whose product was a fax machine. Fascinating man. Fascinating. And he's 92. He's got a wonderful book, Walter's Way, and it's just incredible. And he's going to some of the proceeds that come from the sale of the book is going to go to his foundation, of course, and also to the what am I trying to think of? Our Center of Discovery, that's right, and also to the Kids for Cancer. So the proceeds from the book are going to go to two wonderful programs, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. And so I just, it's fascinating, the book and what he's done. Okay, let's and again give you the name of the book, Walter's Way. All right, and we have we're going into the close. The market's down about 100 points. I told you this market is struggling. I want you to participate in this market. If you never ever bought a stock in your life, you can participate in this market. If you've been in a 401k and you're just disgusted and you hate the market and you turned your back on the market, don't. Because this time you're going to make money when the market goes down, just like you make the money when the market goes up, and you're going to have a basket of stocks, the S&P 500 stocks, and you're going to have a personal coach every day, a personal coach. And at 1:15, and if you can't make it at 1:15, it's archived. And the coach holds your hand all the way through, tells you when to buy, when to add, when to take profits. You don't have to do a thing. Just go on site at 1:15 or go in any time. It's archived. And also, please do not miss the refiners. When we said to buy, and we saw on our chart, especially the PT2, a buy signal for AU gold. Let me tell you, it's up 40% now. 40% because of that chart. So check it out. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. People are going to go to gold like you never saw, because people are going to start figuring it out. They're going to start figuring out that we've been duped, just like Bush duped us with a fake wealth effect, with housing. Everybody buy a house. Go refinance. Go refinance. You're all wealthy. Go buy stuff. Go buy stuff the American way. He duped us. Now we're being duped with quantitative easing. But here's the difference. The only people who benefited from quantitative easing in the stock market were the wealthy. Because, see, the people never recovered. Main Street never recovered from the housing financial bubble, the crash. They never recovered because we were never allowed to go into a recession. They stopped the recession. Artificially, they stopped it. Put the brakes on it. Instead of letting letting capitalism and the free market take over. They didn't do that. They came in and interfered and propped the banks up. And for 9 or 7 years now, they've been doing that. Now it's caught up to them. And I told you it caught up to them in May of 2015. So right now they're doing everything they can, everything possible they can do to come off the lows of the S&P that they put in back here at 1810 on the S&P. If you go look at the S&P on your chart, you'll see right here they put the low in on February 11th of 1810. Now they're struggling. Here it is. They're struggling at February 29th to try to get above 1948. They can't do it. There's no buying. They've tried everything. They came up with a big fat lie of, hey, oil. When oil goes up, start buying stocks. When oil goes down, don't buy stocks. What are you, nuts? Whatever happened to earnings? Ridiculous. We also have some great stocks. IBM, Intel. These are the 5 stocks that our gang members, our subscribers, watch every day. If you're a subscriber to Phil's Gang, every day we coach you through 5 stocks. Goldman Sachs, Intel, IBM, Caterpillar, Schlumberger. So if you're a subscriber, and that's a wonderful program, there's 5 stocks, those same 5 stocks all year long. How good is that? Nothing better than that. That's the program that people need when they don't have time. Stop taking your money, say, I don't have time, I'm going to put it in a 401k and give it to somebody else. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You know, the other thing that's amazing, when you watch the stock market, how the volume is drying up. And when the volume dries up, what they do is they create a trick. And they squeeze the shorts to make it look like the stock market's going up. Do you think CNBC is going to tell you that? Of course not. I tell my subscribers that every day. I guide them every day. Hey, thank God, by the way, that Sanders got shellacked. I mean, he wants to change. It's amazing what this guy wants to do. When he came back from his trip in communist Russia, he was big on changing our market economy to a central planned economy, like Russia and like Chavez and Argentina, in which the state owns the means of production. So there's no functioning price mechanism. In other words, in a market economy, right, there is profit and loss system that provides information to us based on consumer satisfaction. We know if they like the product or they don't like the product. If the business is making a profit, then we're assuming the consumer is being satisfied. If the business is making losses, then we know and can assume, rightly so, that the customer is not satisfied. Sanders wants to change that. He wants to take that out. He doesn't want us to have that information. That's what they did in Argentina. They got rid of the market system. He wants to do the same thing. They did that in Argentina, where the information about desirability and abundance of a good product was unavailable. You couldn't get the information. He doesn't want us to have the information if a person's satisfied or not. He doesn't think that's fair. It's not fair. This is nuts. So thank God he got shellacked. Donald got in a little trouble, didn't he, with this KKK deal, David Duke. Terrible. But anyways, he'll recover. You know why he'll recover from that? And I know him well. He'll recover from that. He made a slip, but he'll recover because he's the only guy we can look to who's not bought. By the way, subscribe to my gang right now, philsgang.com. Tomorrow we'll be talking about a wonderful guy and his book, Walter's Way. Don't miss it. He's the one who introduced the fax machine to North America.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.